Welcome back to Red Hawk Media. Today we're going to begin our multi-part activity of zombifying yourself. Let's begin with some of the preliminaries here. I've got a picture of myself here that I did a selfie of, and it's a pretty high resolution picture, pretty decent size. You're going to want a good quality picture to work with, to bring up, because you're going to be making a lot of changes to your face and adding a lot of things on, and it's just going to make the effects that much more effective as you apply them. So to begin with, our main goal is to get yourself cut out, and then we're going to make a displacement layer. So let's start with that. I've got my background in here. I'm going to go ahead and unlock that. And then I'm going to duplicate that layer. You can do this one of two ways. You can drag it to the new layer thing, which will duplicate it, or you can also right click on it and go duplicate layer. And then click OK. So now I got 3 layers going here, so one of these I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of. Alright, now with my 2 layers, I'm just going to click one off. I'm going to be working on the main one up top. That's in case I mess up, I can always go back here. I'm going to create a blank layer now, so down here on the new layer button, go ahead, create a blank layer. I'm going to put it behind the other one. It's going to become my my background. And let's go ahead and get myself cut out here. So, to begin with, let's grab our quick selection tool, blow up the brush size a little bit here. Let's go ahead and grab the background right there. And now, I accidentally grabbed my ear. This is probably a good review for some of our techniques with refine edge. And that, I'm going to hit Alt, deselect that part actually, and get that out there. So not too bad. You can see that it's selected right through some of my hair. I'm going to get that fixed up in just a bit. So let's go ahead and refine edge. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to just trace around the edges here, cleaning these up as much as I can. It's a nice silhouette here, and every now and then I'm going to let go here, and it's going to clean up the edge selection, get around my ear, get through my hair, so it makes a cleaner selection. And just keep tracing along, get all the edges of my shirt so it's a nice crisp selection. And there we go. Okay, now I've got it output to selection, so it'll go back, and now everything will be selected in there. And there we go. You can see that it's very fine-tuned around my hair. I'm just going to do a once-over, make sure something didn't get selected that I don't want selected. Looks good. I've got the background selected right now. This is what I've got selected. And I'm going to go ahead and just delete that out of there. So I'm going to hit delete, and voila, there we are. Not too bad. Now you can see a little bit of fading on the hair up here because it got close to the edge and the refine edge tool got rid of some of that. We're going to go ahead and clear that up really quick. So let's go ahead and deselect what we've got. And I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this layer once and then twice. And there we go. Now I've got 3 layers of myself, and you can see now that my hair is filled back in, and it's a nice crisp image. There's a little bit of a shadow around the edge that I'll be able to clean up at the end here. But I can take these 3 layers, let's go ahead and merge them together. And now, at this point, I am ready to actually begin my displacement layer. Okay, displacement layer is like a mold, basically. My face is going to become the mold for the different textures that I'm going to apply to it. So, I'm going to go up to File, and I'm going to do a quick Save As, and I'm going to keep it as a Photoshop format, and I'm going to give it a name. I'm just going to call it Me. Okay, and put it right onto the desktop here, and save. Maximize the compatibility so we can go back to this, and it's all saved. Now let's go ahead and create a new layer. This is where we can start using some of our displacement stuff. The first thing that we're going to want to do is we're going to want to get our skin tone to be a little bit more that of a zombie. So that's what I'm going to start with. Create my new layer, make sure it's on top. Always create new layers, don't paint right onto your picture, because it won't allow you to go back unless you go through the history. This is just so much easier to correct. So now I'm going to go ahead and paint over myself here, and I can do this a couple different ways. I can do a quick selection like this, just select myself roughly again. I'm just going to pick my face pretty much. There we go. And now I'm going to grab the brush tool. I'm going to get a nice light gray color, like so. And let's go a little bit more gray, and okay. Because zombies tend to have a pretty dead skin texture here. I'm going to make sure I'm on my new layer, because that's what I want to paint on, not on my other one. Blow up my brush size here. And on this layer, I'm going to go ahead and just paint right over anything that's got my skin on it. Just go ahead and select right around there. You can see the selection tool is kind of nice because I can go outside this area and it doesn't do anything. And I'm just going to kind of go around my mouth here. It's going to save me some work here. Go right over the nostrils, go around the eyes here. The hair, try to stay out of the hair as much as possible. And I'm looping around, man. There we go. And not too bad. Fill this in just a little bit. The edges. And if you go into the hair a little bit, that's not a problem. You can actually go in and clean that up. It's not too bad. Alright, so now I've got this new layer. It's sitting over the top of the other one. I want to make it change the blending feature of it. So instead of just covering it up, we're actually going to take this layer and we're going to make it an overlay. Now, there's a couple different settings that we can toggle through here to see how it looks. You can see that it adds a little bit of a weird color to me here. Overlay isn't quite right, so let's try hue. Ooh, then it adds that. Interesting. Okay. Try some different ones here, like soft light. Ooh, there we go. Not too bad. Alright, so you get the idea. It's kind of lighten up my skin a little bit. Actually, that's not at all the effect that I wanted. So let's go ahead and try a little bit darker gray. You'll have to tinker around with it for your skin type. And let's go ahead and put that over the top. Yeah, that's not what I'm looking for either. Let's try a brighter color. Here we go. Let's try more of like a really light gray. And now grab our paintbrush. And that's more like it. See how it's kind of getting rid of my color there. And I'm going to paint that right over the top here. Adding that on. Not too bad. There, that's lightened me up quite a bit. Now I have a little bit more of the undead zombie kind of look here. Not bad. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and start adding on some of the gore effects. There's a couple tools that we're always going to come back to here. I'm just going to deselect this really quick. And the main tool that we're going to start with is actually the burn tool. Start there, and it's going to bring out some of the natural textures that are in your face to begin with. The burn tool is it hides underneath the push pin. These are the other ones that are in there. So choose the burn tool. It looks like a hand grabbing something. Okay, and now with the burn tool, I have to merge these layers together. So if I'm happy with my color right now as it is, I think it looks fine. I can go ahead and take these two layers, select them. I'm going to click on the top one, hold shift, click on the bottom one, and then I'm going to right click on either one of them, and I go merge layers. That puts both of them together so that they're back into a single layer, and it allows me to do what I'm going to do next. Now, do this in gradual steps. Okay, you're going to want to pick and choose. Now that's pretty dark to begin with, so I'm going to Command C that. And on the burn tool, one of the settings that's really going to help you is you want to have a brush that is very feathered, like this. Make sure the hardness is down to 0. And then up here on the exposure, that also is like how much it shows up, basically, how much of an effect it has on your picture. So when I come in here, you can see it adds on that little bit of texture. And it's going to grab all the textures that are on your face and darken them up. Now, with the burn tool, a little is a lot. So I'm going to take the exposure down a little bit more here. Let's try like just 20% here. Now I come in and I'm going to go around some of these lines around my eyes here. where a zombie would have really dark features in here. Basically, anywhere there's texture on your face, anywhere there's a line, you can go ahead and paint along those, and it really brings them out by creating shadows. Paint right around your eyeball there. Okay, try to keep your eyeball the way it is though, I mean as far as the white goes, and the inside coloring, we'll get to that in a later step. Okay, so I'm going to just go ahead and gore this up a little bit more. Get around the nostrils, I'm going to get around the mouth. Paint all around this, it brings in the texture again. Okay, if there's lines, like I said, cover the lines. Okay, kind of ages you a little bit. We're zombies, so we're not really concerned about age, I guess. Okay, so I'm bringing all that in. Not too bad. Now I'm going to go ahead and put just kind of a darker patch over here on the mouth. It's going to be part of my gore factor later. Not bad. Starting to look pretty rough already. And you can add in as much as you want here. It's all preferential. You know, but think about where the darkest shadows would show up. Okay, so that's a start. Now what I want to do is I want to start bringing in some of the gore. I've got myself looking pretty bad. This is a rough day. This is me with the flu or something. Actually, this is just me in the morning. So we're going to add on a new layer and add on some stuff that's not actually there. For instance, we're going to add on some blood. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to my paintbrush tool. I'm going to go to my foreground color, and I'm going to pick a nice dark red here that I'm going to work with. Dark reds tend to work a little bit better for blending purposes, and that looks pretty good. I know the red you're thinking of is like a lighter red, probably for blood. I'm going to add in like just that I've got bloody eyes going on here. Okay, add that in there, show you how this works. And just paint right in there. Let's go ahead and add in a little bit from the nose right there, and we'll just start with little bits here and there and just keep adding on. Okay, now same thing I did with my gray layer before, to get my skin tone a little bit lighter and more dead looking. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to I can right click on this, bring up my blending options, or I can go right up here and go to some of the different modes. You can see as soon as you do an overlay, it lightens it up quite a bit. Try a soft light, that looks pretty good. Now it's still kind of a fakey red look here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my burning tool again, and I'm going to first merge these layers because it has to be all on a single layer. I go to merge layers, and now I can use my burning tool again. So I switch over to that, it's the hand over here, and I'm going to go over the blood now, and it's going to darken it up so that it actually blends in the way it normally would. And wherever you think it is like pooling, or wherever the source of it is coming from, you make that a little bit darker as you blend this in. So right here, I'm going to blend this in with quite a bit of burning here. Burn all around this area, and it starts to give it a little bit more of an effect here. Burn around the mouth a little bit more here. And I've got it on a pretty light burn, so I just keep going over it, painting over it again and again until I get the desired effect that I want. Okay, not too bad. Now, I am going to basically keep repeating this process here of where I'm going to burn a little bit and then I'm going to add a little bit more blood. Now, don't add all of your blood right away, because one of the main things that we are doing here, the reason that we made a displacement layer, is that we're going to add textures to the face. So for today's activity, get yourself cut out, save it as a displacement layer, so just as a PSD. Come back to this layer, start adding on the skin tone color, add on the blood, use the burning tool to bring out some of the texture of whatever you want to emphasize on your face, and that's where we will pause today. So get a good amount of gore around your eyes, burn in wherever you want to really create that dark, scary effect here, okay? And the eyelids right in there, yeah, you can darken in wherever you want. and then get that all set. In tomorrow's activity or in the next episode, what we'll cover is how to actually add the texture on and get it to wrap around your face, and then start adding the gore to that as well. So that's it for today. Thanks for joining us in our multi-part series here on how to zombify yourself. This has been a Red Hawk Media production. See ya.